सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम तत्सत Om Namah Shivaya. Good evening from India. I hope all of you are आपको आपको क्या है तनु कि आप लॉग आउट करके दोबारा से लॉग इन कर लो, लॉग आउट एंड लॉग इन दोबारा से.
Sir, your voice is not coming.
Okay, you can hear me, Sonali? Good. So welcome to Sundays with Arun once more. Happy to have you here. Do tell me, what would you like to talk about today? What would you like to discuss in Sundays with Arun? So do tell me, what would you like to discuss either from our previous interactions or something totally new? And if you don't have a topic, then of course I will suggest the topic. And if you're on YouTube, you can always type what you would like to discuss, also your questions, and you can also share something important or valuable or what you feel, and then we can talk about that as well. So I'll wait until I get some response from you and see if you have anything to talk about or you'd like to talk about, and then if not, then I will suggest a topic.
I do have something, but I am not sure if it is right to discuss it.
Yes.
So, is there a way that that we can control our mind subconsciously? Like, there are a lot of consciously we are always aware about us, how we need to maybe improve ourselves. But sometimes, and most of the times, it is the subconscious mind that has deep embedded perceived thinking that keeps on, that keeps us engaged and interferes with how we need to work consciously.
So say it in a simpler manner. Ask a question in a little more, like a practical way that you've been facing. Then I'll respond to it. Ask it in a simpler manner.
Okay. So, for example, I'm a overthinker.
Yes.
I can think throughout the day.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Consciously, I know that these thoughts are not right, and I can work on myself. Like I can practice yoga, I can read, I can work and other things. But still, these thoughts keep on coming, right? So, and they always, and I think that it's the subconscious minds that keeps on, So, did it make some, like, was it practical enough now?
Yes. What is the problem with having thoughts?
These could be negative thoughts. These could be thoughts that are not required. They keep you engaged. They drain energy from you.
So you get Sonali's question. She is saying, how do we control our thoughts? This is the practical way of kind of translating her question. She says she's an overthinker, and these thoughts are basically detrimental. They are draining our energy, they're negative, and may not be the best thing for us. Sonali, am I translating it right? That's what you want to say?
Yes.
So, I have a feeling that everybody in this room is an overthinker. And in today's talk is an overthinker. And so is the whole planet. You know, we have two hands and two legs and brain and a heart and so on. You and I don't seem to be quarreling with that. Well, actually we are, in a way. Of course, we are always quarreling with how we look and how we feel. But it's inevitable to consider ourselves to be human beings. And to be human beings is to be the way we are. And that's one thing that I want to discuss today, of course. That a cat, and I've discussed this in the previous gatherings as well, a cat is a cat. It has no dilemma. It is not thinking, why am I thinking? A dog is a dog. The dog is not thinking, why am I thinking? A dog is also not saying, I have a subconscious mind. An elephant is not saying, I have many negative thoughts. I'm an elephant, but I have minus elephant thoughts and plus my elephant thoughts. It's only when it comes to Arun and Sonali and all the people who are in the gathering today that we have this confusion that everything is okay, but I think too much. How do we know that our mind is not supposed to be this way? What is making you think that our mind should not be the way it is, it should be different? And in the same way, if I was to bring it to the level of the body, तनु आप क्या कर रहे हो? तनु क्या कर रहे हो आप उसका आप अपने ईयरपॉड हटा दो, आप ठीक हो जाओगे. ईयरपॉड हटा दो. ईयरपॉड हटा दो, आप चुपचाप बैठो एक जगह पे. So, you know that the whole world is looking to alter its appearance. If you're short, you want to become tall. If you're thin, you want to put on weight. If you're overweight, you want to lose weight. If you have gray hair, you want to blacken it. If you have wrinkles on the skin, then you have to eat collagen. The confusion, Sonali, obviously is not just with the mind, the subconscious mind, the superconscious mind, the unconscious mind. So many words you and I have for just some simple things. कि मैं बहुत सोचती हूँ. If you can even say that much also, then we know that okay, we understand what you're talking about. Just for a moment you pause and think about it. There is so much confusion. Why is it now that you want to have glowing skin? Suddenly now you have to have glowing skin. Because you saw some 3-4 podcasts. What is it? Glutathione and collagen and the night supplements and the night creams. There is this whole movement, young forever. You can, remain young forever. You can look, 18 years old all your life. And that life is also not just 60, 70, 80. You can be 120, 150 years you can live. it's also a question of, like, who are you? Like the question can be, who am I? I don't even know who I am right now because my mind is talking so much that I don't even know who I am. मुझे यही नहीं पता कि मैं कौन हूँ, मैं पता नहीं क्या क्या सोचती हूँ. I'm thinking so much. And I'm thinking all kinds of things. But how do you know that you are supposed to be 5 feet 2 and not 5 feet 10? Why are you uncomfortable with being 5 feet 2 inches tall? Why are you uncomfortable with thinking so much? What is the problem? What is the problem in thinking negative thoughts? What is the problem in what is the wonderful thing in having positive thoughts? So what? कहते हैं ना, घर है, ये मेरा घर है, जैसा भी है ये मेरा घर है. कहते हैं ना, this is home. In whatever way it is my home. This is home. Now, if you don't like it, okay, you go and live in your home. This is my home. No, but something is lying here, something is lying there, and something is lying on top of that. What is this? So this is my home. This is how I am. Now, what is the problem with that? Obviously, you have some comparison. Obviously, you have some benchmark. Obviously, you have some destination. You have some targets, some goals. You're not satisfied by being Sonali Lalit right now. You want to be somebody else right now who's not you at this time. You want to improve, you want to remove, you want to add. So restless. How do we help Tanu? Tanu can't hear us.
I think she should remove her earphones. I removed thereafter also voice has gone.
Earphones ना आप अनम्यूट वो कर दो, म्यूट कर दो earphones को.
Might be there would be a setting in your laptop or phone, whatever it is. Yeah, it can be.
So, we are uncomfortable currently with who we are. It has to do with our emotions, it has to do with our thoughts, it's also to do with our body. I'm expanding your question to include the whole being. कि एक चीज नहीं है, हर चीज है. Today I thought what I should wear for Sundays with Arun. So I had to go through the whole wardrobe. I said kurta, no, not kurta. White, not white. Then with collar, no, not with collar. Should I make my hair this way or that way? No. For 2 days this is going on. Like, now I'm not happy just showing up. Hello, I'm Arun. No, this is not enough. I have to now dress up. And to dress up also I have to spend long time thinking about how I should look. I'm also not happy about the way I look. I'm uncomfortable about everything. I'm thinking like that. ठीक है तनु, congratulations. आवाज आ रही है? We are uncomfortable to be with ourselves and be ourselves. The whole day we are thinking, and we're thinking we should not think. The whole day we are feeling, and we are feeling we should not feel. And now we are born to a certain set of parents. And now we are thinking, my God, why were we born to these parents? Sometimes we are thinking, we are so lucky we were born to these parents. Not that, we are always thinking badly, we're thinking good also. Because, if you were born to another set of parents, you would have been taller, maybe prettier. We are unhappy with what we have got. It's only in moments of realization, Sonali, that we come to an understanding that there are two of us. The one that asked the question today, ki I'm an overthinker, there's negative thoughts. And there is the second person, also Sonali, who's the witness, who is asking this question about this person who cannot be controlled. If you can come to that realization and stay with that realization, then you don't need to control the negative thoughts and you don't have to control your height. And you can wear any kind of clothes also. And you don't need to eat collagen. If you can be a witness to all the circus that is going on that you call overthinking. Overthinking होने दो ना, क्या problem है? I joke with my students, to be a woman is to overthink. I joke with my students because I meet so many people. I meet men and women, men and women, men and women. I meet people all the time in the public space. And definitely there is a difference between the way men think and the women think. That's my understanding, not a biased thinking. I meet people all the time. Tanu is saying, sir, I also have an habit of overthinking. वो थिंक उसको तो थोड़ा थोड़ा सुनाई दे रहा है. मैं भी यही कह रहा हूँ तनु कि लड़की होना मतलब ओवर थिंकिंग करना है. I joke with my students about the men and women, they are so different. Of course, they are different. Today also in the class, when I was teaching the back therapy course, I spoke to them that it's difficult to get the suspicion out of a woman's brain. The doctor has to only plant a suspicion in the woman's brain and it will continue to grow inside her brain. You know, doctors have a very good marketing ability. They have to just tell the woman something and then it will remain in her brain like a suspicion and it will continue to be there. You cannot dig it out. Even God cannot dig it out. So the way out of that to be free is to then have that Sonali who's asking the question. That person who's asking the question is not the overthinker. But वो दोनों collapse हो गए हैं. So let's ask the room today, connected to Sonali's question, is what is normal? Even by the way, Ritu also said that. Ritu is also in the room. And she asked the question a little earlier, how to master our mind. Obviously, she's being troubled by her mind a lot. She asked this question independent of Sonali's question. She asked it herself on her own. आपके सवाल पूछने से पहले उसने टाइप कर दिया था. यानी कि 3 women have asked the same question, said the same thing. I can see only 1 or 2 men in the room. They are not asking about overthinking anyway. They're not thinking about the mind. So let me ask everyone in the room a question. What is normal? What is a normal human being? And I want to kind of, engage our thinking in this direction that animals, there is a normal. Like a man-eating tiger is a man-eating tiger. Like a carnivorous animal is a carnivorous animal. You cannot ask the carnivorous animal कि भाई एक हफ्ते के लिए नॉन वेजिटेरियन नहीं खाना बिकॉज अभी वो आपका जो है व्रत आ रहा है. It is now going to be Navratri, so please don't eat any meat. You cannot tell a tiger like that. The tiger will continue to eat meat whether it is Navratri or not. It is normal for a tiger to be normal, like a tiger. Like a cow can be a normal cow. A cow can be normal, and a cow is normal. What about human beings? What about you and me? What would be normal? What do you think is normal? What would you imagine us human beings as normal? For example, between you and me there are, many religions. Between you and me there are many cultures. Between you and me there are many cuisines. Between you and me there are many eating habits. Between you and me there are many different kinds of colors of human beings. What is normal? What would be normal for a human being? From there comes Sonali's question कि मैं बहुत ज़्यादा सोचती हूँ. I think a lot, subconsciously, and consciously I'm okay, but subconsciously there's a lot of trouble. So I'm asking the question, what would be normal for a human being? Like, what is normal? Leading a reasonably happy life is what Ritu says.
So I think when you are not working, physically you are not working, and still you have, then you have to remove. When you are not feeling that, it means you are thinking level is not already. When you work, you get that feeling that also you feel very tired. It's a grand tired.
What is Uma saying?
When you hear,
Your voice is echoing. I have a feeling that you are on an iPad.
when there is a laptop in you,
Laptop, is it? Why are you looking sideways? Why aren't you looking at the camera?
I will not, my husband.
What you do is you turn the laptop upside down, then you will be straight. Your camera is in one place, and the microphone is echoing. You can speak a little slowly, maybe I'll be able to hear properly. So you were saying?
No. I feel whenever which when you listen to Buddha,
Can't hear properly.
tired,
Can't hear. You'll have to type it out, Uma. And you change the name from Sriram to Uma. You type it out and then I'll read it out. What is normal? That's the question that I'm asking the Sabha today. What would be normal to be a human being? So Ritu says, normal is socially determined. No, not, that's what I'm saying, that, the question that I'm asking is, why is it socially determined? Why do you not know what is normal? Leading a reasonably happy life is what Ritu says, and I'll come back to that in a moment.
I think the normal is that we accept as we are. We accept the thoughts as they are, but however, still be able to control or rule out that is not required, so that it is not hampering your normal day.
So I want you to kind of play this game with me, Sonali. Right now, what you said is the opposite of what you asked as a question. Both are not normal. Both are the person who's trapped and wanting an escape. And I'm saying there is something which is normal. You're not trying to control the abnormal. You're saying, let us control the abnormal. I'm saying, what is normal? So here is the thing, and I play this game in many of my yoga retreats with my students, participants. I say, what is... One second. What is it that whatever is not you, if you can remove, then we will come to normal. So if you're educated, so is your education you? Congratulations, Tanu. Finally, she can hear my voice. So is your education you? The answer is yes or no.
No.
The education is not you. You acquired your education. Is your visiting card you? I am retired. I am a retired person. Is retirement you? Can you not come out of retirement? You can come out of retirement also. I am managing director. I am great yoga Acharya. I teach prenatal classes. I work for Indigo. So you have acquired many things. Supposing you were to unacquire all those things, whatever you have acquired, including your education, your titles, your various sources that you say, okay, this is my house, my car. If you remove all those, Slowly you're starting to unravel something that is purely you and purely normal. Does an elephant have a religion? The answer is no, the elephant doesn't have a religion. Is a cat worried about being vegetarian or non-vegetarian? Is a cow interested in protein and carbohydrates? This all we have acquired. We have understood these things from various sources and we are now carrying it. Supposing you remove it, remove all of this, including your culture, the language that you speak, your education, your corporate identity. Oh, I am a homemaker. Remove the identity. Then what is left? I'm asking the whole room the question and I'd like you to type out the answers. What is left? I am 55 years old. Remove it. I'm retired. Remove it. I am a gold medalist. Remove it. What is left? When people introduce themselves, they say, hello, I have ankylosing spondylitis. My name is Tarun. I am married, I have 3 children, and my name is Sanjay. For us, the normal means that there is something attached to it. Supposing I'm removing all the attachments from the email, then what is left? अरे तनु, आई वॉन्ट टू बी ए हैप्पी पर्सन तो बाद में है, वही तो सवाल कर रहे हैं सारे. पहले रास्ता तो देखो, सब्र के लिए 1 सेकंड के लिए. मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ कि जो आपका सामान नहीं है वो हटा देंगे तो क्या होगा? जो भी सामान आपने खरीदा है, घर, गाड़ी, बंगला, मियाँ, बच्चे, सारे हटा देंगे तो क्या होगा? ये सवाल है. I'm asking a question, I'm asking you to play the game with me. Supposing we remove everything that we call me, then what is left? अब बताओ सोनाली, सारी चीज़ें हमने हटा दी. You're playing a game, okay? सब कुछ, everything, including your name. Is your name you? When I was born, my parents called me something else. I don't remember what they called me, but they called me something else. And then, thankfully, they renamed me as Arun. Is your name?
Everything is gone. I am good.
Yes, very good. So, Akhil, you heard that. That we'll be on the planet, we'll be another being on the planet like the other animals. Yes, what does it mean then to us in the room today? That if all the identity is gone, all the identification is gone, I'm no longer an advertising expert, I'm no longer a doctor, I'm no longer an architect or a banker. I don't have a religion, a cultural background, I remove all that, then what is left? I'm a being like other animals, but इंसान की तरह जवाब दो, अखिल, कि आपको क्या लगता है कि फिर आप कौन हैं? Who are you? Sonali, आप बोल रहे थे, you were saying?
I am just me.
You are just you. You got that? You are just you without any pretense, any facade, anything to control, anything to dissect, anything to analyze, anything to regret, and anything to plan for. You just are. Is everybody with me so far? Test karte hain. Let us test. Especially if you are without your identity, what will you be? If you didn't have anything that you can call your own,
I just wanted to share a little experience of mine regarding the same thing. The same feeling, few years back, I went to the Kerala Sivananda Ashram. That was a very, very disturbing phase of my life. My husband wasn't well, and I was so much into it that I really wanted to come out of it. And one of my previous yoga teachers asked me to visit the ashram. When I went there and I enrolled in a course, रोज एक ही रूटीन होता था, करते 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 करते. There was no mirror. But when I finished it, after that, when I was going back, I stood in front of the ashram and I had the same feeling that this is home. I have no, no clothes of somebody's wife, somebody's daughter, somebody's, being an architect, going into and becoming a teacher, nothing like that. And then after 3 years, I went back. I stood at the same spot in front of the ashram, and I just closed my eyes and I was like, hey, I'm home. I don't have to be anybody, like Vishali. I even take off the clothes of my name itself. I just have to be, a being, doing all the work which normally everybody does for, to stay alive, to eat, to sleep, to, do whatever to do. I do not tag myself as even Vaishali. So, yeah, this is the same feeling when you ask me that, then who are you?
I got that. That's great.
Soul, we can say.
Yeah, the word soul then is difficult to understand. So the way to look at it is to say something which is closer to, a practical understanding of what we know on an everyday basis. अगर हर चीज़ हट जाए तो क्या बचता है एक मीत? हर चीज़ अगर आप हटा देते हैं, हर चीज़, नाम भी, काम भी, एवरीथिंग, हाँ, एवरीथिंग दैट इज एक्वायर्ड, उसको अगर आप हटा देते हैं तो अब क्या बचता है? आपका नाम भी, सी नेम इकमीत जो है वो भी टेम्पररी है, आप उस नाम को कभी भी बदल सकते हैं. एंड सरनेम तो ऑफकोर्स एवरीबडी चेंजेस, every now and then when you get married it changes, so you know that is temporary anyway. Everything about you in that sense is temporary. If you look at the cells in your body also, the cells are also telling you the same thing, that the cells are changing. The whole body changes in 365 days. And you know that you have to use a scrub to remove the dead cells. Every 30 days, there's dead cells adding up in the on the skin. So that means the cells are dying as well. So that is also temporary. In fact, the whole of human philosophy is constructed on the idea that we are temporary. We are temporarily passing through this planet. We are virtually not here, almost not here. We are here very briefly. And in that brief time, also there is so much confusion. So क्या बचता है एक मीत? फिर अगर सारी चीज़ें हम हटा देते हैं तो क्या बचता है? जो आप अपना बोलते हो कि हाँ ये है, ये है, ये है, सारी चीज़ें हटा देते हैं, देन क्या बचता है? What is left? What is left is literally, yes, nothing except myself. जो आपने soul बोला, I say myself. That's right.
Inner self, inner self.
जी, वो इनर है, आउटर है, वो छोड़ दो. आप वर्ड आप ऐड करेंगे तो फिर वो आप नहीं रहेंगे, फिर वो एक एक्वायर्ड वर्ड हो जाएगा. That 2-year-old Ikmeet, that 1-year-old Sonali, that 6 months old Arun, वो अभी भी यहाँ बैठा है, लेकिन उसके ऊपर ढेर सारी चीज़ें हैं, बहुत सारा ढेर इकट्ठा हुआ है. So many things have been acquired, which somebody said just now, that social, that living up to a social expectation. So education is necessary, behavior is necessary, culture is necessary. So we think, and that is where the confusion starts. Of course, it is necessary to eat and drink and sleep, but that is not our identity. It has become our identity. वो हम नहीं है. So if you can remove everything, then what is left is nothing, and on the other side of nothing is everything. So there is a nothing and an everything going about every day. And we are focusing only on everything and we are not focusing on nothing. Just being on the planet without an ego, we can language it better. We can say just being who we are. In spite of all the conditioning. And who we are is full of life. Contradict me if I'm wrong, or correct me if I'm wrong. Who we are is full of life. Now, Sonali, we are full of life. What is restricting us? The other side, which is full of everything. It is in the moment of falling from a high cliff to a certain depth below, pushed out by its mother, that the baby bird learns the meaning of flight. Only if you leave the safe conditions of the top of the cliff and take that jump. And many people do that. You and I do that. We do that many times. But it is quite rare. It is not every day. Like Sonali, you said, immediately the thinking will come. मैं करूँ ना करूँ, करूँगा तो क्या होगा, नहीं करूँगा तो क्या होगा, करने के बाद भी क्या हो जाएगा. Eventually we play to a draw. We don't get to do what makes us happy. So one of the things to continuously as a task to do some spring cleaning. And that spring cleaning is to say, let me remove whatever is not me. जो भी मैं नहीं हूँ, वो मुझे हटाने दो. Let me remove whatever is not me. So give me some examples of whatever is not you. Not about your name and all, we have spoken about that. Whatever is not you, give me some examples.
My job title is not me.
Yes, your job, we have spoken about that. Okay. So your job title is not you. Now let us say for a moment you remove that from your list of concerns because it is not you. Then what does it, how does it impact you? And Anuradha says status. Supposing you remove status from your daily conversations, how will it impact you? How will it impact you if you remove your job title? How will it impact you? Give me some of the other things also that are temporary, which are acquired, what the world calls conditioning. Tell me, if you remove those things, what will happen? Give me an impact. Give me.
If I remove my job title currently, I would not be worried about going up the ladder, getting more titles. I would just be doing my work daily and learning, and take whatever comes as titles.
And that will make you?
That will make me less concerned and just be
satisfied? Can I use that word? That you will be satisfied because you're doing what you are doing and you're not concerned about the next title and the next title and the next title? Because you know that the title is temporary?
Yeah, I can say now, but when I see other people or when I see my mentors maybe growing up, so then again it will come, right? They have grown that way. I am doing this, but then it will still come back at some point. I can try today, I can try tomorrow, I can practice it daily, but I cannot just get rid of it because that will be my life, right? Like, that will come at some point.
So,
For any
so,
other.
so between the two, satisfaction and promotion, what would you settle for?
Satisfaction.
To be yourself or to be senior vice president? Think about it and then answer.
Myself.
That's right. If you're senior vice president and you're not yourself, will you be at peace? Will you be satisfied? Will you be okay? Will you get to bed and sleep properly?
No.
So the difference between being practical and being yourself, and being practical and chasing a title, is that you know that chasing a title is temporary. At least from this conversation, you know that it's temporary. I've had this conversation with many people recently that you matter more than, no, you matter to them more than they matter to you in terms of jobs. I was counseling people, some people, in the recent past, and I was telling them that please believe me, looking at you and the kind of person you are more valuable to them, but you are thinking that they are valuable to you, they are giving you the job, so you are thankful that somebody is giving you a job. And I was telling them that no, it's not that way. It is, they should be thankful that you have agreed to do an interview with them. But our thinking is like this, that if I don't get this job, then it is the end of my life. If I don't get the next promotion, it is the end of my life. And that is because you think that what you have acquired is a fact. What you have acquired is the truth. What you have acquired is you. And this example is there daily in our lives. Between your boss and your mother, you know, I'm asking the same thing to everybody in the room. Between your boss and your mother, who do you think you're priceless for?
Mother.
This, I mean, this is not a question. It's even stupid to talk like this. How come we have imagined ourselves to be what we are given as a status? You think about it. You talk to your mother and say, "Mera status kya hona chahiye?" Then you will know. You will get one slap. That is your status, in her life. One slap. And we have to now compare ourselves and say, that person is going ahead and the other person is going ahead. And then you ask your sister, who is valuable? And she will tell you who is valuable. Like really valuable. The boss couldn't care less, right? I'm talking about everything that is temporary, including all our relationships. But in this case, to give a comparison, to give an idea, you want to think, really, are you only so valuable? Is your happiness only so valuable? Is your satisfaction only so valuable? The cost to company, 50 lakhs, 100 lakhs, that's it? That's your value? An elephant values itself by being itself. That's what Akhil just said. That we'll be just like animals if we don't value the external reward. And then we can sleep peacefully at night. And Vaishali said something very nice, that she was herself completely. Even though she's married and she's child and family and in-laws and everything, but she had that experience of complete freedom when she was in the ashram for a while, where there was no title, there was no garb, there was no facade, there was no make-believe. She was in touch with herself. When you go to the work on Monday, you want to know who you are, as different from your job, who your job is, and who your boss is, and what your salary is. Isn't your salary temporary? Can't you, for example, double your salary? And can't somebody half your salary also? It's up to them, na? They'll say, nahi, is mahine se aapka salary aadha hai. It has no relevance to who you are, no connection with who you are. And the same thing I'm saying about all the thoughts that you have, all the clothes that you wear, all the kind of vehicles that you buy and the houses that you buy, everything can be changed. You can renew, refresh, reset, everything. That means none of these things are you. When you can experience none of this is you, then what do you experience? If you can experience what I'm saying, that none of these things are you, can you change your job? Actually, sometimes people feel you cannot change your job because this is the last job on the planet. Nobody will ever give a job. Actually, that's not true. It's only in this industrialized society in the last 400-500 years that we have started to feel this way. Everybody has a use in the villages, in the farms, everybody. कोई पानी देता है, कोई हल चलाता है, कोई खाद डालता है, कोई गाय की वो कराता है अपना. In the cities, we can become redundant very quickly, including AI, which is now taking over the planet. We can become redundant very quickly and we can feel useless very quickly. So, what was the experience if you remove all the stuff that you call as temporary? What is finally left? What do you experience if you can remove everything? Only peace if you remove everything. That's correct, Uma. If you remove everything, then what you're left with is peace. What else are you left with? All the saints and sages have been telling us this. What are you left with if you remove everything, including your embarrassment, your shyness, your लो सेल्फ एस्टीम. हाँ सोनाली, बहुत बातें भी करते हैं ना, दिमाग से अपने आप से खुद बोलते रहते हैं बहुत सारी चीज़ें कि मैं ये भी नहीं हूँ, मैं वो भी नहीं हूँ. If you remove all that stuff for a moment, what do you experience? What is the experience of removing everything? Like spring cleaning, सारा टेबल साफ कर दिया, कबोर्ड साफ कर दिया. What do you feel? What is the experience? जी तनु.
Light.
Yeah, you will feel light. You will feel enlightened. This experience of spring cleaning is possible every day, every hour. You can keep telling yourself, who am I? हाँ, इकमीत बोल रहे हैं कुछ?
Pure being.
Yes, pure being, absolutely right. You will experience being a pure being.
Calmness and stability.
Yes, calmness and stability, correct. So now we are not working on our overthinking mind. We are thinking, what should we remove? जो नहीं चाहिए. And you can start with the basic stuff. Literally clean the cupboards. आज Sundays with Arun खत्म होने के बाद सारा कबर्ड छानो, देखो कि 5 साल से जिसमें हाथ नहीं लगाया आपने, उसको किसी भी तरह से निकालो, बाहर रखो, थोड़ी देर के लिए पूजा करो. 3 दिन के बाद उसको बाहर निकालो, आउट ऑफ द हाउस. वैशाली कह रही है ये कैसे होगा? 10 साल से सामान रखा हुआ मैंने, 50 साल से सामान रखा हुआ मैंने. I will not leave all that. इतने मुश्किल से तो मैंने सामान खरीदा है. I'm a Cancerian. I had a great amount of difficulty in emptying the cupboards. Now I do it mercilessly. I learned from few people how to be merciless with your acquisitions. So now slowly I have developed this habit of removing things which are even dear to me, including old letters. In my time, people used to write letters to each other. I'd kept it for so long, everything is going. Just remove, because it is burdening me. It is making me overthink. It is bringing negative thoughts. From there, you do the spring cleaning every day of who you are. Think about it. Are you your culture? You can go and live in another culture. Why don't you think about it? Are you your language? Start learning new languages. Are you your religion? Start looking at other religions. We are so stuck, isn't it? एक ही जगह पे रहना है, एक ही तरह का पोशाक पहनना है, एक ही तरह से बातें करनी है. Of course, that is why we are stuck. That is why there is suffering, because we imagine ourselves to be like stones, like tables and chairs, like walls. We are actually floating in the universe. We are just atoms. We are millions of cells, in fact 50 trillion cells, all put together in one place. We are actually nebulous. We are transient. We are moving all the time. I was telling one of the students in my class that your back pain can go away, but your mind is not allowing your back pain to go away. You are stuck. The mind is really stuck. It is like stone. I can't get through to you. My exercises are not going to help you because your mind is so strong. It is not allowing any knowledge to come inside. There is fear, there is information, there is conditioning, there is past experience. हर चीज हमारे साथ बैठा हुआ है. She says long ago. I said वो long ago था. This is 2nd or 3rd of August 2025. That was long ago. You are still talking about long ago today to me regarding back pain. Something happened long ago to her. Her back was bad. Now she will not do something today because that happened that day. Long ago. Are you getting me? ये आज हुआ यशिका with Vandana. She said long ago I had a back injury. Somebody told me to do cobra and I could not move for many days and my arm became like this. I said that was a different Vandana. It's now a different Vandana, bhai. Remove all the stuff that is there. It is not you. Try to experiment. Try to be a new person. In fact, it is contradictory because I'm responding to the original question that Sonali asked, how to stop overthinking. Is to give up all the rubbish that is accumulating in your brain. To throw away all the rubbish that you're acquiring all the time. Our houses, our vehicles, our working desks, so cluttered. If you look at the computer, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of files. And now with the new generation of taking pictures, you're taking 500 pictures a day. Where is all this going? Not even one picture you want to delete. Even if it is blurred, you don't want to, kya pata ki kya kaam aa jaye. You want to kind of understand the psychology that we are great acquirers, we seem to be starving, we seem to be unfulfilled because of some reason. ऐसा कुछ है नहीं. Who we are is complete. Who we are is peaceful. Who we are is calm and steady. Who we are is divine, blissful, absolutely. And then you can disturb yourself if you want, no problem. You can overthink if you want. Every day you can overthink, but you need to know that Ikmeet is peaceful. Not Ikmeet, the name, but really the self, that person, myself. Who I am is peaceful. Who I am is resourceful. Who I am is compassionate. Who I am is beautiful. Who I am is myself. Any thoughts? Any comments? Any observations?
Happy.
Happy. Who's happy? I also want to be happy. Can I be happy sometimes? Who I am is happy. Any thoughts, any observations? Yes, sure. As long as Sri Ram is not saying it, it has to be Uma who is saying it. I am powerful.
I am disease free.
Yeah, you can say that I am free. The word disease is again conditioning. You can say that I'm free, but I also have diseases, and I am not a disease. I have diseases. Because that is also temporary. So is health. Health is also temporary. अभी बहुत बोल लिया, अभी पता लगा कि गला बैठ गया, और फिर कल से जुकाम शुरू हो गया. So, you cannot be proud about anything because, you and I are temporary. We are just passing through. Anything can happen anytime. I can fall down the stairs and break my neck, even though I sound like a great public speaker, orator, or something, doesn't matter. Eventually, we have to remember that we are here for a very short time. There was this very interesting experiment. You say, okay, zoom back, zoom out from the earth all the way up to the moon, and then zoom even further to our planetary system, then zoom out to the Milky Way. Where is your overthinking? What can you see about, your clothes or, your cars that you've bought, the job or the promotion? Now you're looking at yourself from the Milky Way. Where are you? Where is that spot on the earth where all these big things are going on? Huh? Yes, any thoughts, any observations, any questions? We have time for one more debate before we end. Anything on YouTube, Udit? Any questions? Any?
So one person is asking, sir, I'm Jitin from Kerala, struggling with rheumatoid arthritis since my early 20s. Now I'm 32. Now I'm prevented from all physical activities which I do not in the past, yoga, cricket, gym, badminton. I'm mentally and physically exhausted, tired of life. How can I get my old self back?
Okay. So, Jitin, the good news is that it is possible to find a solution, to find a way. It is possible to reduce pain. It is possible, Jitin, to come back to your normal self. And the way to look at it is that currently you don't have a way. Currently you have been told certain number of things, and that is what you understand. Once upon a time, people were dying of a high fever near the swamps in France, and they did not know what it is, and there was no solution for it. And they called it malaria because they thought it is because of the bad air that is causing the deaths of people. The high fever and then finally people dying came because the air near the swamps, दलदल के पास हवा खराब था, इसलिए उनको बीमारी हो रही थी और उसी की वजह से लोगों की मौत हो रही थी. The thing is that then we discovered that malaria is caused by mosquitoes. Until that time, there was no solution, Jitin. But then they did find a way of resolving malaria because they found out that it is a mosquito that is causing the illness. And of course, preventing yourself from being bitten by mosquitoes is one way of not getting malaria. And then having got malaria, then quinine came into mainstream as medicine for curing malaria. In the same way, you might have rheumatoid arthritis currently, but it may be possible for us to find a solution. You have to speak to me offline and find a way, and we have to mutually find a way so that you can get back to exercise, you can get back to a normal life, you can be yourself again. The whole point of this conversation is how can you be normal, and who is normal, and what as human beings can we call normal. So you can get onto the website yogashowstheway.com, Jitin, and find a way to just connect with me. My contact details are there. You can get in touch with me directly, and a longer conversation will be needed on a way forward, how to get out of this medical situation that you find yourself in. And I'm confident that we will find a way. So yeah, do get in touch with me, Jitin. Any other observation, question? Anything that you...
Wendy is asking, how do you balance being yourself with all the obligations and expectations of the society?
It's like a duck in a duck pond, the water all around it. It is not easy. This is not the, this is not preaching. You have to find a way of being unaffected by your responsibilities. And there are many ways in which you can find yourself happy with the responsibilities that you have and not be enslaved by them, hypnotized by them, or be how should I say it, by stopped by them. I know many people, many women in India, they are 40, 45, and then they say that, my children are now grown up and they have now left home and now I can take care of my health. Now that's a very strange way of living. Children grow up in 15, 20 years, human beings, especially in India, and till that time you have neglected your health, you neglected exercise, neglected what you eat. The right way would be to, these words are overused, work-life balance or a balance in the approach to things. But Wendy, the thing is that you cannot ignore suffering. You cannot ignore the fact that life has suffering. I'm surprised, Wendy, that when people say my life is full of suffering, the word my life is the wrong place. It's the wrong words to use. You have to say that life has suffering. This is very liberating to know that life is suffering. It's liberating because you know that everybody has responsibilities. Everybody has suffering. And everybody has good things also going on. It's wonderful to be living and enjoying life and to enjoy the gifts of life. And yes, for many people, even getting there is not easy. But you can celebrate everything about life provided you have the right view, the right approach. The moment you have good things happening to you, you start feeling guilty. You are worried and anxious that, okay, why do people love me so much? How can I live up to their expectations? And when people don't love you, you say, my God, what a hateful being I am and how horrible people are. When you get some responsibility, rather than feeling happy, you say, my God, so much responsibility, nobody is taking care of their responsibilities. Now I have so much. The moment you don't have responsibility, you start saying, my God, nobody is giving me any responsibility. I have nothing to think about. And I have nothing to do. Being an adult, being responsible, having the accountability to lead a good life, an interdependent life, is one of the greatest gifts that human beings can have. It's wonderful to be responsible. It's wonderful to be accountable. It's wonderful to have things to take care of. It should not become a burden. In fact, this is one of the things when I was training long time ago, I heard, life is shot at us, point blank. We don't have any warning for life. Life happens to us while we are planning other things. The thing is that we have to be happy while life is happening. We have to be happy while messing up. We have to be happy and go for that movie even in the middle of that crisis. There is no other time. You cannot postpone going to a yoga class till the time you're 40 because your children are growing up. My God, this is not the right way. You have to go to the yoga class and drop the children to school and pick them up and do all the other things that you want to do in spite of having your responsibilities. I mean, why not? And I can understand that there are periods in our life, Wendy, that's true, that things are impossible. I accept that. But life is not unacceptable all the time. You might be in a financial crisis which is so bad that there is no time to even laugh or cry or even breathe, and you have to take care of that crisis. Maybe somebody in the family is in the ICU for 3 months. Who knows? This is not the time to dance and celebrate. No, I don't mean that. But a person in the family is not in the ICU 365 days of the year, 100 years. It's not like that. Crisis does come. But suffering is continuous. And that doesn't need to be. You can look after yourself morning, afternoon, evening, night. You have pockets of time to look after yourself. You can sit quietly with yourself for 10 minutes. That's meditation for you. You can go for a walk for 15 minutes. That is looking after yourself for 15 minutes. Yes, Vishali.
I just wanted to share my experience I had this year. When in March my father passed away. So that time my sister came from abroad, and all our relatives were there at home, and I was the one to take care of the arrangements and everything. And I didn't have the time to process what just happened, because my father was in ICU for a week. And then he suddenly, as soon as he met my sister, and he passed. And then we came back home, and the next day we had to cremate him. I didn't have, way to take my emotions out. Like, everybody was around me. So I went to my yoga space. I practiced for 1.5 hours to relieve, to process what just happened. And I think that was the most beautiful thing I did for myself that time. So I think we don't have control over the sufferings, like whatever comes to us, but we know how to act.
Yes.
We can choose how to act.
Yes.
To that.
And you have every ability, you have great enormous amount of intelligence to respond to every given situation. And you are born with that and you grow up with that. It's possible that education has dumbed it down a little bit. But if you're with yourself, and especially in the moments of crisis, like you said, Vishali, in the time that you're in great distress, maybe in a state of trauma, at that time your intelligence really comes up. You start using your intelligence, the enormous pure intelligence that you and I have, different from what Sonali said about the mind. I believe as human beings we can use our intelligence to conquer our mind as well. Just like you chose the path of the yoga mat, I chose to be with people around me that time when my mother passed away. I deliberately surrounded myself with lots of people. I would not let go of people. If somebody called me, I said, come over. Then another 5 minutes later, somebody said, I said, come over. I will surround myself with people, not to run away from the situation, not to not think about my mother, not to think about what just happened, but also to be with people to share my feelings. At some stage, we have to have that catharsis. And like I said, life happens to us while we are making other plans. There are no other plans. This is it. We have to be mother, we have to be father, we have to be citizen, we have to be sister, we have to be employee, we have to take time out, we have to practice our yoga also. Uma said we have to prioritize health. I think we have to prioritize ourselves. Yes.
You could see the buildings, they are coming down in the and the church in the
That's right.
culture. And people talking in the buildings and walking up to the myself. The previous knowledge should stay. And this way, you can give back to you, but the connection come back to you. Now, should be talking this thing, and the benefit. What is our time to attend to it?
Uma, didn't get a word of that.
I'm sorry,
I know it's a John F. Kennedy kind of speech, very emotional and set the man on the moon kind of speech. And it was really like Rajnikant. It was excellent. It was wonderful. Only I could see it. I didn't put you on spotlight. But that's how life is. That life is happening, and some of the confusion will still remain for all of us. I think it's something to do. I think Uma, it's something to do with your setup today. Otherwise, you are at home. Mostly. You can blame Sriram for this. She's happy that there is somebody else to blame, and when it comes to her husband, it's good. Good. I'm happy with the quality of the conversation. Anything else that you want to talk about? Otherwise, we can end for today.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
You spoke about it's important to be interdependent also.
That's right.
What does that mean? And because there's a lot of emphasis on being independent in general.
Well, millions of years ago, a man called Stephen Covey wrote The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I happened to read it. The word interdependent comes from there. One is independent, the other is dependent. And the third he suggests is more powerful, is interdependent. And thinking about it for a long time, I realized that human relationships is what makes us human. Between animals, there is not this kind of a relationship. There is interdependence, but only to a certain degree. Human beings have to be really interdependent. Maybe a wrong example, but a pilot is the one that carries 300, 400 passengers from one city to another continent. And we are highly dependent on the pilot to carry us from one city to another country. But the pilot is also dependent highly on the farmer who is cultivating the food that he can eat on the flight or before the flight, so that he can carry us from one city to the other continent. And the farmer is extremely dependent on the imports that happens because of a trade, and he gets the fertilizer and seeds from another country, which the pilot brings back. There's a giant cycle of life that is happening all the time amongst human beings. We imagine that we are the only people on the planet, or we are only one set of people on the planet, but actually we cannot survive without the interdependence of all human beings. And at a microcosmic level, this is very much true. What that means is that in the colony that you live, without the other people, you cannot survive. For example, the electricity goes, the transformer is blown. Now you cannot go and repair the transformer. The electricity person has to come, and he has to be called that, look, in the local area, our transformer is blown. If you don't know that person's number, then somebody in the colony who knows the number has to call the electricity man. He will come, and it is the middle of the night. Now he has to leave his family and his kids and come in the night with the torch and try to correct the transformer. And if he doesn't know how to do it, then he has to call his boss. And then when they come, they say one part is missing. So the shop is closed. Now we have to figure out the part so that the transformer can be fixed, and then the electricity can come back to your house. Even at the local level, at the colony level, in your own home or house, we are dependent on each other for living our lives. But we should not be dependent, and we should not be independent. These are two different concepts altogether. Being dependent is like, for example, the children are dependent on you for the rest of their lives. Like, children are grown up, they are 25, 30, 40 years old, but they are still dependent on you. That dependency is not great. You are dependent on alcohol, you're dependent on drugs. That is not a great thing to have. And independence is actually something related to selfishness. You're fairly selfish if you're independent. You cannot live your life just by being independent. You are not considering the idea that you exist because of others. The education was given to you by somebody, the food is being manufactured by somebody. You go to work because somebody gives you employment. That somebody gives you employment because he is manufacturing things or providing some services, and he is doing that. That is why you can have a job. So being independent is actually not a great place to be in. It is only in the head that you're independent. Actually, you're never independent. Never in your life can you be independent. It's a wrong idea that India got independence. India got interdependence. That now we can be interdependent on other countries and other people, and we can build ourselves and so on. The word independence is actually an expression which is not very fulfilling, let's say. More fulfilling would be to say we are interdependent. And the sooner we realize it, the more mature our relationships will be. That we are interdependent. Without others, we are nobody. And without our contribution, they are also that much little less. We matter and they matter, and we both matter. It's a very beautiful way of living. That every person matters to us, because that is how it is. From the smallest people in our lives to the biggest people in our lives, they all matter to us. In the same way, we matter to them. Don't you think so? When somebody is not there, you say, oh, I miss him, I miss her. Like anybody, even if you met somebody on the train, say, oh, I miss those 3 days in the train or 2 days in the train. We miss people, we miss relationships. So thank you for asking that question. Interdependence is a very valuable way of living, and we must almost always consider it. Time to end for today, and then your suggestions are welcome. You can continue to write in the group and outside, and we'll meet soon again. Final prayers. Om asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om purnamada purnamidam purnat purnamudachyate purnasya purnamadaya purnamevavashishyate. Om shanti shanti shanti. Bolo Sadguru Maharaj ki jai. Hari Om Tat Sat. Wonderful to have your company this afternoon. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you, sir.